sunshine. It's chillier than, chillier, that's not the right word. It's cooler than yesterday when we had a temperature in the mid-80s, but still very pleasant as you look at a nice view of the blue skies here in the St. Pete Clearwater area. We are ready to go. First pitch is ball one, and off we go. USF and Oklahoma State. As Kylie Naomi, the shortstop, leads off. That's out to right field. Alexis Johns hauls in the first out of the game. That's the way we get started. Corrick has not allowed an earned run yet this season. She comes in unbeaten at 3-0.
Yeah, and she went to Coach Ken Erickson's door today at the hotel and just said, like, hey, you're giving me the ball, right? Like, I should be getting the ball in this game. And I love that. Obviously, her name speaks for herself, her resume, and this is a game that she wants. And I love that she went to her coach and said, hey, you giving it to me? No doubter.
Did she ask or did she just tell him, hey, Coach Erickson, I got the ball?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that one.
That one?
Yeah, that's the tone at which.
Alexander lays down a bunt. Tough play. Safe. Desiree Maldonado did all she could coming in from third base. Got to it quickly, made a good quick throw, but Chelsea Alexander with her speed beats it out.
That's just picture perfect. So much speed in that two spot. Wow, drops it right in front. Maldonado had to be in more in order to make this possible to get her out, just because she has so much speed up the line.
I know she didn't get the out, but Maldonado, as you mentioned, she got so close to the foul line. That really makes her throw, her angle to first base, that much smaller, but she still made a really accurate throw and made it very close. UConn, Oklahoma native Cheyenne Factor. UConn there on the far west side of the Oklahoma City area. Cheyenne now a senior. Cheyenne Factor really has had a lot of big hits, big plays in her tenure playing for the Cowgirls. Runner goes, pitch, a ball, throw to second, right on the money. Got her, Josie Foreman. An absolute strike down to second base, and Chelsea Alexander, who had not been caught in 4 steal attempts this year, gets caught there.
I mean, this is just Foreman, picture perfect. On the money. Rivero coming across, angled perfect with that throw, a little drop down tag.
Excellent throw by Foreman, and if you're a catcher, the ball's going to tail to that first base side, because it tailed right to where Alexander was sliding in and basically almost tagged herself out. I understand what we're seeing of the game plan here for Oklahoma State early. Alexander's like, okay, 1 out, I got to get on base. We got to do something early against Cork. We can't let her just settle in and own the day.
Yeah, and Alexander hasn't been thrown out yet this season. I totally understand why when she gets on, you know she's going to be going.
Check swing, strike 3. Relatively quick inning there for Corrick. A 10-pitch first. Was it 10? Did I get it right?
St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational, presented by St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational, presented by Wilson, is brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater, Florida, and Wilson Fast Pitch, leaders in softball innovation.
Great look at St. Pete Beach. A nice Saturday in Florida. Morgan Day, Oklahoma State senior from the state of Illinois, Illinois State transfer, in the circle.
Top of the lineup for USF. Number 42,
I thought for a second we were maybe going to see Miranda Elish, but they went with Day. A lot of pitching depth with Oklahoma State. Maxwell is their ace, that lefty, and everyone now knows that Miranda Elish is playing for Oklahoma State.
Alexis Johns takes a strike. The Bulls right fielder. 1 for 2 in the first USF game here in the Invitational in Clearwater.
Morgan Day has that rise as well as a knuckle change, and something she really worked on in the offseason was just kind of like maneuvering her hands a little bit differently on the knuckle, so it was going to not get picked as much as it had in the past. Has also really worked on that drop ball as well as a cut fastball.
USF's only played one time so far. Of course, they're in many ways kind of a host team. They make the 30-minute drive from downtown Tampa across. They beat Notre Dame yesterday 7-0. Bowler foul at the third base side. Oklahoma State, we mentioned up top, they beat Michigan yesterday 4-0, but got run ruled by LSU 10-2 in 6 innings.
We've just seen some random stuff like that happen, I feel like, in this tournament. Different teams beating up on different teams. LSU run ruling Oklahoma State, and then almost getting run ruled by Washington the next game. Like, just little things you wouldn't expect with those top 25 teams has been happening.
Oklahoma State comes in 5-2, USF 4-1 to start the season. Well, Alexis Johns has already seen 7 pitches from Morgan Day. In play, and that eats up the shortstop, Kylie Naomi, and into left center field. And is scored as an error to allow Johns to reach. Let's take a peek at head coach Ken Erickson's lineup for the USF Bulls. Josie Foreman, the catcher in the 5 spot. Morgan Piero at second base. Those two combined to go 6 for 7 yesterday against Notre Dame with 3 RBIs.
That's one thing that we saw with the Bulls is offensively they came out hacking right out of the gate. It's almost like just a cannon letting them out. An explosion of offense, a lot of speed, swinging early in the count, all things that I think really are important, especially when you haven't played a game. I mean, there's no reason to be waiting for your pitch. I mean, you come out hacking, we all know pitchers are going to bring something around the zone the first couple pitches.
You correlated it to a cannon. I'll correlate it to like shaking up a soda can and then opening it up. Just out they came.
Yeah,
crazy.
I like it. I like yours better. I
Yeah,
just got a little grumbled in my head. It's been an early morning, Mark.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why we're partners working together, complimenting one another. Sheehan, the 2-0 pitch, shows bunt, takes a strike. Sheehan, who did not play last year, missed the season due to a knee injury. And then, of course, 2 years ago in 2020 was a starter, but only got to play 24 games because of the COVID-shortened season. She had 345 when COVID stopped the year. Runner takes off, throw down to second. Johns a head first slide, gets in safely. That throw zipped right through the circle past Morgan Day. Turned out to be a fairly close play, though.
Oh. I mean, good thing she had that mask on. That was pretty on the money, but pitcher's still there in the circle.
So Johns with her 5th stolen base in as many tries this year. Sheehan just fouls one off to see another pitch. Sheehan off to a 400 start this year, hitting right at 400 coming into play today with a couple of runs batted in. Well, you notice that stance from Sheehan. She's almost completely facing the pitcher. I mean, it's that far open with the stance.
And a lot of times, it's just kind of like gets her body in a position, more of like a contact play. We used to do that with Canada, some of our hitters all the time. It's a little contact play, just trying to play pepper with it and just kind of bounce it. And we know that Sheehan's in that 2-spot. Lefty has a lot of speed, and that's what some of those little lefty slappers are so good at, right? Just being able to manipulate where that ball goes and run to first base and are a sure safe because they're so quick. And it's also just adding that other element of pressure to the defense because of that speed.
Well, you know, Sheehan's only had 10 at-bats this year, so it's not a big sample size. She hasn't struck out all year, and you can see why with that. And the way she faces up, she's basically saying to the pitcher, yeah, you're not going to get it past me. Eventually, I'm going to put this ball in play somewhere. At least that's what she's counting on.
Yeah, it is very pepper-like, and if there's any little girls watching that have not played the game of pepper, get on it.
This might go on all day. So here's Morgan Day, who's getting the start here. She's thrown 17 pitches already. And there's a runner at second with nobody out. And this next pitch will be the 10th of this sequence to Megan Sheehan. And it's in play. Back to the circle. Day gave a look at third base. A little hesitation, but still had time to get the out. And Sheehan did exactly what she at least wanted to do, and that was advance the runner. She was not going to strike out there. She was going to put the ball in play.
Well, and that's what you want to do. You want to be able to put Johns in a position where a sac fly could potentially score her or the obvious base hit. You're going to have the Oklahoma State defense pulled in a little bit as far as the infield. You're going to have Naomi and Petty up the middle just playing the line. It's a great view.
Shortstop Alana Rivera. She is hometown kid, St. Petersburg, Florida, Ogasiega High School. In her sophomore season. To short, runner coming home, and throw to the plate, out. I thought maybe Naomi at short had hesitated just a little bit too long, and it turned into a bang-bang play at the plate. And Johns is thrown out at home for the second out.
becomes just about being able to step up in moments and execute plays, right? Naomi, seasoned shortstop, little slight hesitation. I think the Blues saw that tag on the foot before Johns was able to touch home plate.
Johns didn't get a great jump either, though, off of third base.
Ooh, that was close.
And Naomi getting her at the plate. It's an important play there for the Cowgirl defense. A little check swing if Pond goes around on. And he's in the hole 0-2.
And there's that knuckle change. Vivian Pond's weight all in front, completely fooled. Now at an 0-2 count, that knuckle change in the back of her mind.
Strike three paints the outside corner. Well, Morgan Day had to work, but she gets through the inning unscathed. After one, no score.
Evo Shield delivers lightweight custom fit protection so elite fast pitch players can take the field with confidence. Customize your elbow and leg guards at evoshield.com. And attention softball fans, are you looking for the best coverage of college softball? D1 Softball is the leading source for everything Division I softball. Head over to d1softball.com for features, rankings, podcasts, and more all season long. You can even use the code St. Pete, that's STPETE, for 20% off an annual subscription. By making the decision to play in Florida, you have an opportunity to experience some of the world's best beaches and athletic facilities. For more information about the Florida Sports Foundation, visit playinflorida.com.
Great crowds here in Clearwater. Hard to find an empty seat. All these games so well attended with these 16 outstanding schools. Number 7, Oklahoma State. USF, no score, top of the second. Back to work goes Georgina Korick. And she is certainly, as that first thing says, that item, one of the best in the game.
She is, and 66 to 69 miles an hour, but it's her ability to just be in control when the pressure is on, right? That's the one thing sometimes you can't teach a pitcher, is to understand what that's going to feel like and how they're able to just level up in those moments, and that is Georgina Korick. And I expect nothing less than her going to Coach Erickson and saying, like, hey, you're going to give me the ball, right? Like, I'm that person, and I'm really glad she got this additional year to lead her squad.
Julia Cottrell, the Stillwater native, back in the state of Florida. Spent 2 years at the University of Florida with Tim Walton's team. Her dad, Jeff, who's now in his 7th season at Oklahoma State as a hitting coach. So reunited with him, at least on the softball field wise. Of course, Kenny Gajewski was a longtime assistant on Tim Walton's staff at Florida. So a lot of connections between the Cottrell family and Kenny and Tim, and Florida and Oklahoma State.
And I think at the end of the day, I mean, it has to be a bittersweet feeling getting the chance to play in your home state with your dad on staff. And I would hope if I ever coach one day, my kid would want to be there with me. Some don't like it, and that's totally okay. But I also think that it's some very bittersweet memories that you'll be able to remember forever. And Coach Kenny Gajewski just continued to keep saying on the Zoom call, like, every time she'd come home for holidays and Christmas, like, you could just tell she missed Oklahoma and has always been a fan of Oklahoma State.
Very close on the outside corner. Coach Gajewski also said when Julia would show up when she was still a member of the Florida Gators that she wouldn't wear Gator stuff, not just to kind of not said, hey, I'm in the Oklahoma State office, I'm going to respect that, and I'm not going to show, hey, here I am coming from the SEC. 3-2 pitch pulled foul.
So she was rocking Oklahoma State gear when she was still going to Florida. But we can also say her pops is the coach there, and I think, you know, to be honest, if my kids were playing in college, I bleed the purple and gold, but I'm going to rock their alma mater and take pride in that as well.
Here comes the 8th pitch of this at bat to Julia Cottrell. High fly down the left field side, fading foul. Had pretty good distance on it, though. Well, from an academic standpoint, Julia Cottrell is an agriculture major. There's her dad, Jeff, and coach for the Cowgirls. And just looking at it face value, Florida's a great school, a lot of great majors. But Oklahoma State just says agriculture, does it not, if you're going to be an ag major? That is a fair ball, picked up by the catcher, Tuck, who throws to first. And it took a while, but they retired Julia Cottrell for the first out.
Now batting number 17, Haley Busby.
It's going to bring up the right fielder for Oklahoma State, Haley Busby. Pitches so far for Corick. One base runner so far on that bunt base hit by Alexander, who then was erased and caught stealing.
And that's a money pitch for Georgina Corick. It's that curveball that she's just really able to snap off on the outside corner, and that's going to be an important pitch for her to be able to get as a strike and to also give it that little extra giddy up on the outer corner.
Foul ball. Haley Busby played her first 2 years at Virginia. Last year was first team All Big 12 in her second season with Oklahoma State. Hit a career high 19 homers, hit a career high 376, career high 49 RBIs. Really outstanding year for her in 2021. You know, I always wonder, when you have a year like that, where you set career highs in basically every offensive category, and you got another year to play, there's always that, okay, how do I follow that up?
I know, and that can be something that really gets in your head. And the sooner you're able to realize you probably won't have the same year you had last, the better. And there's that curveball with a little upspin on the outside part of the plate, and that's her bread and butter pitch. She can throw that the hardest. I just love how close she gets to her hip and just clears it and snaps his baby off. A little up at the end of it. Very tough pitch.
Sydney Pennington takes a strike. This is season 5 for Sydney, who's a Tulsa area native, Sand Springs, Oklahoma. Charles Page High School. Pennington has basically been a starter since the day she walked on campus. Started all 61 games her freshman year in 2018 and hit 300. Became a team captain her sophomore year in 2019. Had been playing shortstop, but then when Kylie Naomi got to the program, they moved Sydney from short to third, where she has basically been since. Corick strikes out 2 in the inning. 3 in the game. She's faced the minimum 6 hitters through the first 2 innings. Oklahoma State, USF, scoreless.
For the win! National champion! Dynasty fulfills its destiny! The great upset in history! For the win! National champion! Dynasty fulfills its destiny! The great upset in history!
Women's NCAA basketball tournament tips off March 16th on the ESPN networks, which includes ABC.
A couple standout voices in that just.
The Beth Mowins call is awesome.
And a little Adam Amin, you hear him in there. Called the Women's College World Series a ton with Amanda.
It fouled the third.
But Beth Mowins, she tops the cake.
Happy to have Beth with us for these 4 days in Clearwater. Josie Foreman, catcher, leads off USF in the home half of the second. Morgan Day had to throw just over 20 pitches in the first inning. Though she did not allow a hit, she worked around a leadoff error. Looks like we got a quick peek at Miranda Ellis.
Yeah, down there she is, number 40.
2-2. Ellis was getting loose. Now she has stopped coming down towards the Oklahoma State dugout, which is on the first base side. Foreman belts one to the left field corner. That's fair. It takes one hop to the fence. Grabbed by Chelsea Alexander. Slide for Foreman into second with a leadoff double.
Number 26.
This is a 2-2 count. Inner half of the plate. Gosh, turns on it so quick. Really quick hands through the inside part of the zone. Stand-up double for sure.
So they're going to run for the catcher, Foreman. Courtney Waldo. Waldo runs at second. After what is the second double of the year for Josie Foreman. In steps the Bulls' second baseman, Megan Piero. This plate umpire that we have in this game, James Colsey, looks like he's going to give the pitchers to the left-handed batters that outside corner, a little bit off the plate.
It's my kind of umpire. Like a little wiggle room on the outside half.
Ball in the dirt, nicely scooped by Taylor Tuck.
I think it's honest to say that half a ball to a ball off the plate for a pitcher shouldn't be a bad thing to call.
Shortens up, takes down and away.
I like that river. Michelle Smith is big on the river, which is those two little slots in the middle of the plate in the batter's box. I think that's a good visual for a pitcher to really kind of hone in, and when you have to bring it back a little more of the plate if you're not getting it, sure, but you want to start in that river and see if you can work your way from there.
Bunts it foul. It's been a few years ago, but I remember a young fan asked me one time, did the entire ball have to be inside the plate for a strike? And I said, no, I never really thought of it that way. I said, as long as even just one seam clips the outside or inside part of the plate, it's a strike. So it may look like it's inside or outside, but it's a legitimate strike. 2-2 pitch. Offensive swing, came up empty, and a strikeout is the second for Morgan Day and the first out of this inning.
And I dig this by Morgan Day. Gives up that double, but then rallies back against Piero. Big defensive swing there.
Madison Epperson, the first baseman up for USF. Day pours in a strike. This is actually Epperson's 5th year. True freshman year was back in 2018. Nothing in 2. Yeah, excellent. Close, great 0-2 pitch. Can't get much better than that. Morgan Day is a Florida native. I should say an Illinois native down here in Florida and went to Illinois State. Played 4 years at Illinois State. Got a degree in public relations. Now pursuing a master's at Oklahoma State. First team all conference at Illinois State in the Valley. That's towards the alley in right center field. Running grab. Cheyenne Factor tagging up at second. Foreman advances to third.
It's a great piece by Epperson, but you have to love the speed of Cheyenne Factor. Covers a lot, automatically goes next throw.
Good base running by Foreman. That whole play was well executed both sides. The catch by Factor, but the pinch runner that is over at first base, Waldo, thinking, hey, if she doesn't catch it, I'm going to score from second base anyway. So I think she's going to catch it, and I'm going to tag up. And she got the extra 60 feet. It's a good base run.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they teach you. Ball goes up, you're on second base. Unless you know it's a surely going to drop. You want to tag to give yourself the best chance to move 60 feet.
Desiree Maldonado from Winter Haven, Florida, not too far away from the Tampa area.
There's that knuckle change by Day. Just kind of drops off the table a little bit. Finds herself in a hitter's count here with a runner on third.
Now, when you say a knuckle change, I know you're talking about her grip, the way she holds her changeup.
And the way that she releases it, too, is like an R.A. Dickey. You know, just kind of letting it go. Same thing.
Little flare out to left, drops in. Waldo scores. Maldonado has her first RBI of the year, and it gives USF a 1-0 lead.
That's just clutch hitting in that situation, right? Maldonado, little bit of a jam job, but just enough to sneak it over Naomi and pop in front of Alexander. That's really clutch hitting in the bottom of the lineup. And as a coach, you can appreciate when your 7, 8, 9 hitters are really able to step up in an RBI situation and produce.
Cadlub hit by the pitch. Now Morgan Day was trying to work around that leadoff double. Got Piero, the fly ball run down by factor off the bat of Epperson, but now an RBI hit by Maldonado and a hit by pitch is going to turn the lineup over to Alexis Johns. Miranda Ellis is going to go back down to the bullpen area for Oklahoma State and start to get hot again.
Well, out of respect for the opposing pitcher, Georgina Korek, right? Like, you cannot allow any lead to get too out of hand if you're Oklahoma State, just because you know that you're going against an All-American in the circle. You see Miranda Ellis back down there.
South Florida, number 37, Abigail Ota.
Abby Oda's going to run at second base for Maldonado. Johns reached on an error by the shortstop Naomi. Alexis stole second. Was eventually thrown out at the plate trying to score on a ground ball to the left side. So it's USF that has scored first in this battle with number 7 Oklahoma State. Popped in the air to left. Alexander calls off the shortstop, Naomi, to make the catch. But USF gets the RBI hit from Maldonado and lead 1-0 at the end of 2. If you got a boat and some spare time, the white sand, the crystal clear water, this is the place. America's best beaches, St. Pete, Clearwater. Well, we're in day 3. Let's recap yesterday, day 2 from this Invitational. Kelly Maxwell of Oklahoma State, a one-hitter against Michigan, had a chance for the no-no, took that into the 7th. Northwestern, a walk-off homer for Mabe Nelson to beat UCLA. The Tigers, Clemson and Auburn, both unbeaten in this Invitational in Washington. Hitting a lot of bombs, 6 home runs. They've scored 20 runs in 2 games against 2 ranked teams.
A lot of fun action.
And here we go into inning number 3. Michaela Richburg. Balls, no strikes.
Good hitter's count here for Richburg. Maybe thinking that curveball away. Just
puts it on the ground. A couple of hops to Maldonado at third to throw down the line, but Epperson comes off the bag and has time to take it and tag out Richburg.
Now batting number 4, Taylor Tuck.
Maldonado says, "Thank you, Maddie," at first base for coming off the bag and saving me an error. Here's Taylor Tuck. Wind may play with this a bit, but the left fielder has it measured. Sheehan. Wind is pushing that ball towards the left field foul line. The way the wind is blowing here, as you see the flag in right center field.
Now batting is number 14, Carly Petty.
Coming across the field from right center towards the left field foul line.
pretty quick little first 2 hitters here for Cork. Only 4 pitches thrown. And that's what you want as a pitcher.
But I can understand hitters doing exactly what we just see Petty do there. And do you really want to get to 2 strikes on Cork? Well, no. It's just like, first good thing I see out of her hand, I'm going after it because I don't want to be here too long because that gives Cork the advantage.
Yeah, and that's why she is who she is, right? Like, she's just such a specialist in that area, being able to pitch backwards, cross a lot of hitters up, has heavy velo, plus change, can do so much. And there it is, right? So it's like, as a hitter stepping into the box, that first time through the lineup is really where we're figuring her out a little bit. Okay, what did I see? What was I planning to hit when I had a hitter's count? Like, you look at Tuck, who got jammed on that 2-0 hitter's count. Woo.
A 7-pitch inning for Gina Corrick was faced the minimum 9 hitters through 3 innings. So the beauty of having all 40 of these games on the ESPN networks from Clearwater, we can kind of dive in and show you some highlights from some of the other outstanding games, including this one going on with Florida State and Michigan. And you and I were talking earlier, you know, it's a judgment call, but Florida State may be playing the best of, at least as of right now, first few days in, of anybody here in Clearwater.
Yeah, I think so. They're just finding ways to score runs, and looks like they're having a lot of fun out there.
Florida State's unbeaten on the year. They came in 5-0. They've beaten Tennessee and Texas already. You saw the highlights going on with Michigan, and they'll play UCF and then UCLA Sunday night on ESPN to play that last game, the 40th game. Quick out for Morgan Day, who
Alana Rivera
must know that kind of lurking over her shoulder down the right field line, who's warmed up now a third different time, is Miranda Ellis for Oklahoma State. I almost get, as you see Ellis again warming up, I almost get the sense, Danielle, that Kenny Gajewski's, he's got the pulse of this game right now. If he can keep it, let's just say, Coric close, because you know who you're facing. You know, if USF were to suddenly 2 hits and a home run, and now it's a 4-0 game, like, you know, do I want to use Ellis at that point? There's a tough play. Bare hand. Nifty. Sydney Pennington says, who needs a glove? Man, I got this right hand, and she throws out Rivera, 2 outs.
All-American defense here by Pennington. That little late skip. And obviously a ton of speed by Sheehan in the 2 spot. Wow, pretty.
You getting the same feeling, though, how Kenny Gajewski's playing this with his pitching, with Ellis down there?
No, I do. Listen, in my views of this pitching staff, like, you know what Maxwell's going to bring to the table every game, right? But I do believe that there is some value in at times pitching a little bit more by committee, or having a player that you're going to be able to bring in later on in innings and be able to buckle down. Could that be a Miranda Ellis for them? Could you bring her in 5, 6, 7 to just absolutely close the door? I mean, you also have to think that Miranda Ellis hasn't played competitive softball in 2 years. You cannot expect her at the beginning of the season to be able to go out and just throw inning after inning. It's not going to happen. So it's kind of maneuvering your staff a little bit to best benefit your team. But like you said, USF and Georgina Coric, you're not going to score 6, 7, 8 runs off of her. So you need to keep this lead exactly where it is and try to find a way to have these short, quick innings, be able to rely on Ellis potentially from the pen, and find a way to score.
Kenny Gajewski, his 7th season as the head coach at Oklahoma State. And yes, the Cowgirls had success prior to Kenny. Had gone to Women's College World Series under the previous head coach, Rich Willigman. That ball's hit down the left field side, foul. But Kenny's he's elevated it to another level, because for many years in the Big 12 it was Oklahoma and then everybody else, and Oklahoma State now, you know, even gave Oklahoma a scare last year for the conference title.
And I can dig that, right? Coming in and just leveling up the playing field, bringing that extra confidence, instilling that in his players, and when you do that, your players can feel invincible.
It's shot towards right center field, and on the move factor. Once again, great break on the ball, and they go down in order in the USF 3rd inning, an 8-pitch frame.
Make your statement with Demarini's lineup of fast pitch bats. Learn about the full collection and pick up your favorite bat at Demarini.com. Go to street practice to the next level with tech machines, tees, and other training equipment. Check out the full collection and find practice drills at atechsports.com. Mizuno is a proud sponsor of the Kentucky Clearwater Elite Invitational. From youth players to the top players in the world, Mizuno is dedicated to creating the best softball gear for players at all levels. be sure to stop by Mizuno Tech in the Bay area to see Mizuno's latest softball product, including their lineup of high-performance bats. Receiving demo today. Don't feel like getting up from your seat? Go to MizunoUSA.com.
Got it.
Hey, Coach Erickson, how are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good.
Mark here and Danielle. We're about 30 seconds from coming back, and we appreciate your time.
Excellent.
Gotcha. Back in Clearwater, 1-0 USF. We go to the top of the fourth. First, let's visit with legendary head coach Ken Erickson of the Bulls. Hey, I'm going to call this the Coric effect. How your opposing teams, you got Ellis kind of looming in the background there, warming up. How they play their offense, defense. I mean, you see this all the time. Well, tell me about what it's like to have her on that staff.
I've said it before, and you got a pitcher like that, and you have a chance against anybody because the guy is not just good physically, but she's really good mentally. And she's a chess player out there, and so she takes a look at the hitters, and sometimes, like, if their stuff is good, it really doesn't matter because she's like, my stuff is better. And that's the mentality that she has, and that's special, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Coach, loved your guys' performance yesterday. What was the attitude coming in today, playing an Oklahoma State that has a lot of talk about their team too?
Danielle, when you played, did the other team have faces? No, right? And that's the same thing that we do, is we just talk about, like, the other team has no faces. Just play against the game. The game presents itself.
Love it.
Well, you and Coach Gajewski playing a little chess here. We enjoy watching it. Thanks for the time.
Okay, you got it.
Coach Ken Erickson.
Well, I will say this. Sometimes I like to see the face because I would like...
You want to intimidate? You mean look him in the eyes or what?
A little bit. I remember when that Last Dance documentary came out with Michael Jordan, and he said he would make stuff up about the other team in his head to fuel his own fire. Mm-hmm. Totally did that. And it was, I just love being able to look that other team in the eye and just, get the intimidation factor and crack a little smile. There's so many different pitchers that, you just see their mannerisms and the way they look when they strike someone out. But I get it. You don't ever want to make a game seem bigger than it is in the sense of who you're playing, so I agree with them. But I loved locking eyes with the other team and just, are you blinking or am I? It ain't going to be me.
It must be nice to create something positive out of your delusions. That's nice.
Hey, Michael Jordan did it.
Yeah, if he did it.
So
yeah,
come on.
Yeah. That was one of the few pleasant times in the early days of the pandemic when we got to watch a new Last Dance, because most of us were all stuck at home at that time anyway. It was must-watch viewing.
That saved me in that pandemic.
Yeah.
That was every Sunday night. Record that and just the old school Dennis Rodman just taking it all in. Wow, incredible. I think college teams should sit and watch.
A 1-0 game, the only run USF scored in the bottom of the second. And an RBI single by Maldonado. That ball's floated towards third. And speaking of Maldonado, and it slips down to a knee, but still makes the catch in foul territory.
Now batting number 55, Chelsea Alexander.
Gets jammed up a little bit. Maldonado kind of falls to her knees, but still makes this solid little grab. You don't want to give Naomi an extra chance. So if you get the opportunity to field the ball like that, you want to try to get that quick out.
Chelsea Alexander. Bunt base hit her first time up and was caught stealing. Looks outside from court. Had a good invitational, hitting 500, 3 for 6. Regina Coric is from Sanford, Florida. 3-time American Athletic Conference Pitcher of the Year. Check swing, she wins. 2-2.
Just able to pull the string on that and is so efficient. That was a 2-1 count. Just surprises her, buckles her with that changeup.
Oklahoma State Cowgirls, 48 wins last year. Tied for third most in school history. Went 15-3 in the conference. Second place to Oklahoma. OU was 16-1 in conference play last year, and that only loss came to Oklahoma State in Stillwater. Two of the 3 losses for Oklahoma State in conference came against Oklahoma. Check swing foul. In fact, that OSU series in Stillwater was the final series of the regular season, May 7th through the 9th of last year, and the regular season title came down to the last game. And they wound up meeting them in the Big 12 tournament title game. Shot down the left field side, foul, 3 or 4 feet.
On the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Oh, it's so close.
So Alexander's seeing a lot of pitches, more pitches than Corrick through the entire third inning.
And so good.
Wow, right on the inside corner, Frozer. And 5th strikeout for Corrick.
And it's just the fact that she just takes a little something off. I wouldn't call it a changeup, but I would call it an off speed. 61 miles an hour. You see Alexander's weight all in her front leg, completely fooled. But it's the spot on location at a 3-2 count. Just money.
Strike one. At 68 miles per hour. Factor, a strikeout victim back in the first. Four wins a year ago for Cork. An ERA under 1 in 228 innings pitched. Won the American Conference Pitcher of the Week award 7 times last year. It's basically one of those cases where I'm sure the folks in the league office of the American Conference are like, we're going to try to give it to somebody other than Georgina, but 7 times we just had, it's like, no, we can't deny her this conference award, week award.
Wanted it. I could hear the umpire up here and just say, no, that's outside. That's a great job from Foreman behind the plate. Really just getting her body behind that pitch.
I like this plate umpire, James Colsey, because we can hear him and he gives immediate calls. You know, no, out. You know, he'll give a little direction sometimes. He's had a consistent zone. Factor has worked it full. Let's see what Cork brings. Payoff pitch. Gave her something at 66. Had a lot of the plate there. Another 3-2 offering. That's in the air, deep left, and gone. What an at-bat for Cheyenne Factor. Looked like Cork took a little something off, and Factor was ready for it. And that's the first run allowed by Cork this year, and it's tied at 1.
And Cheyenne Factor had a really, really good at-bat. And this is a 3-2 count. You see she's off the plate, significantly off the plate, where the back of her feet are touching the batter's box. And this is an inside pitch. But to Cheyenne Factor, this is a meatball based on where she's standing. Absolutely turns on it, unleashes. And Georgina Cork gives up her first run of the season.
Yeah, I should clarify that's her first earned run. She'd given up 3 that were unearned, but that's the first earned run she's allowed, so her ERA is no longer 0 on the season. And we got a tie ball game. Cottrell, which is that foul? And the chess match just got a little more interesting on Kenny Gajewski's side. Coach Katie Gajewski. I love this time. This is kind of old school softball. You know, remember back in the day, you know, runs for the most part were, for a long time, pretty hard to come by in this sport. Offenses got it going. Of course, I just want to do something athletic, even though it's a foul ball. I'll catch it off the screen. This has that feel, you know, where maybe I don't see this being a slugfest. You know, 3 runs probably going to win this game for somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
And I can see Oklahoma State making a pitch and change pretty quick here. Just the way the track record of last inning with those big bops off of Day. Cheyenne Factor running around like crazy in the outfield. I can see them making a change here, especially now that they got a run up on the board.
Well, that's the 3rd straight full count that Cork has gotten into, and this time she walks Cottrell. That is going to send Ken Erickson, coach of the Bulls, out to the circle. Well, Cork had set down the first 2, and then Factor had a long at bat, wound up with a home run to left field to tie the score, and then Cottrell walks on a 3-2 pitch. We got a high-level game going on here between 7th-ranked Oklahoma State USF with Cork in the circle.
Sometimes the athletes just need the coach to come out and be like, do we know there's 2 outs here, ladies? Like, we have 2 outs, so just, there's a runner on first base. There's nothing to get too carried away about. Just find a way to get one more, whether you're going to use your defense or what it may be. I mean, we all know Haley Busby is a good hitter for sure, but just stay true to your game plan.
Ball went high to Haley Busby. Busby struck out her first time back in the 2nd against Cork. And there's a base hit to left. Busby singles, Cottrell down to 2nd. 3 consecutive 2-out base runners. Oklahoma State that began with the Factor home run.
Well, and just little things like that can ignite an offense, right? Like Cheyenne Factor, 3-2 count, battles and battles, and then finally gets that home run and just passes the bat and ignites a little bit more of a fire under her team. And that's contagious. Cottrell with the walk, and then you have Busby with the hit, and they're just kind of passing the bat.
Scotland David's going to run at second base for Cottrell, the catcher. Sydney Pennington will try to keep this inning going for the Cowgirls. Oh, one pitch pulled foul behind the bag at third. Well, she is human. She is Virginia Court. But now this suddenly turns into a big spot for her, trying to keep this a 1-1 game. That's close.
I'm ringing her up on that one. It's a good pitch.
So this is a 1-2 pitch. There's strike 3 on that outside corner. But the Cowgirls tie it. They get the Factor home run, strand a pair. When we come back, we'll chat with Kenny Gajewski, the Cowgirls head coach.
Fans this weekend's foul ball takers are from the Clearwater Bullets and Lady Bombers softball clubs. They can be identified by their uniform.
Got it. Okay.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, guys.
Oh,
Hey, Kenny.
we got you
How's it
early.
going? Yeah,
Lucky to
you know.
get you early.
Well, you know,
Hey, give me. How are your kids?
we're good. We're
Yeah?
just, you know, we're just in this like facing everybody's number one. I love
no.
it. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean? It's just a grind. And
Your
and
kids. Your
oh,
kids
my
that you
personal
made.
kids?
Yeah.
Oh, they're freaking awesome.
Are they?
Yeah, they're watching. My daughter called me this morning. Goes, hey, I need to sign in, and I'm like, oh, I'll send it to you. So she's watching. My son's watching. They're my biggest fans.
I love
along
it.
with Rachel as well. So
I love
Awesome.
it.
yeah, it's
Awesome.
cool. It's cool.
You still got that turf business on the side?
No, heck no.
Did you get rid of that?
Shoot, I get to coach.
No, I don't
So,
mean that. I
yeah.
just mean, hey, you can just own it and not do nothing.
No, I'm done. I've been done for a long time. So, yeah.
Somebody wants to put money in your pocket. You know,
Well, I'll take that, but, you know, I'm not going to throw that away.
Here we go, Ken.
All right.
Game tied at 1. Oklahoma State and South Florida going to the bottom of the 4th. Our chance to talk with Kenny Gajewski, the Oklahoma State head coach. We've been calling this a little chess match between you and Coach Erickson. We've seen Ellis up a time or two, kind of watching the game, and then the home run from Factor. It's been kind of fun to watch. What's been your take on the early part of this game with your team against Corrick?
Well, it wasn't very good until that last inning there. I thought we had some good at-bats, and we're finally starting to kind of get it going here. It's tough. This is a tough place, and everybody can pitch, and everybody can get clutch hitting, and we're just trying to be part of that.
Coach, I know your wife and your kiddos are watching. Anything you want to say to your favorite fans?
Just love them all. I'm just glad my wife's here. My kids are watching back at home. Logan and P, I love you guys.
Appreciate the time.
Love it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Kenny Gajewski. He's done an awesome job with the program at Stillwater. You know, I'll never forget the first time I met Kenny when he was an assistant under Tim Walton, watching he and Tim do the drills for the Gator team, you know, with the fungos, and it was like a military precision timing, just drills. It was done to the point where I'm like, and this is before Florida won the back-to-back national championships. So like, hey, these guys know what they're doing. I mean, they're not wasting one moment of time when they have their team on the field. Very efficient. And you knew Kenny was going to get a shot at some point, and he's taking advantage of it as the head guy.
And I think it's just great for the Big 12, and it has really stepped up that conference. Just watching them in the World Series last year, like, they've just been really incredible to watch compete at the highest level, and it's
punched towards the middle. That ball was sinking, and it sneaks under the glove of the second baseman, Petty. That should be a clean base hit. Josie Foreman, her second of the game. One last point for Oklahoma State, and I don't want to get into this completely. What's going to happen in a few years when Oklahoma and Texas leave and go to the SEC? Oklahoma State has set up their program to be a dominant team in that conference, especially if win those two depart the Big 12.
They're all going to be challenged a little bit more. We'll just say that.
Yes. Hierro takes a look at ball one.
And I don't think you can really ever be challenged enough in this sport, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to win the whole shebang at the end of it and have your finger up in the air saying you're the best team, like, you don't want it to be a cakewalk. You want to play those teams that are going to make you get better, even if you lose. And that's why the importance of RPI and that schedule and playing really challenging teams so you can get a higher ranking is so important. So, yeah, you may lose a couple games at the beginning of the season, but they're all games that we're gaining some type of a knowledge to better our team and our own individual performance and what we need to get better at, because, once you make it to college, you're not where you need to be. We're always getting better. We're constantly evolving. Pitchers are recreating themselves with something new every year. And if I win the whole thing at the end, I want to know that I beat the best. I don't want to squash the easy guys. I want to play the best when it's all said and done.
Well, I think if you ask Oklahoma head coach Patty Gasso, since Oklahoma State's gotten better in Texas, Coach White now, and what the conference has done, I think it helps Oklahoma that their conference play is much more competitive now than it was, say, 6-7 years ago.
Couldn't agree more.
Strikeout of Piero, third of the day for Morgan Day. And yes, Miranda Ellis is up again. I want to say this, I've lost track of the number of times she's gotten up and down, but I want to say this is the fourth or fifth. It's foul back to the screen.
And I could see if there's another base hit or something that happens, going straight to the bullpen and bringing in Miranda Ellis.
Epperson fouls it back. Well, you brought up a point earlier, which is a good one. Miranda Ellis, before she opted out and didn't play, and now she's come back. She's with Oklahoma State. So really, she hasn't pitched much in a long period of time. So it's not like this is Miranda Ellis who was dealing those years at Oregon and then went to Texas. You think so?
Yeah, but it is. It's different. Like, especially taking 2 years off. Like, it's different throwing bullpens and it's different throwing a scrimmage against your team than when you get into a game coming into the fifth inning with runners on and having to push through that type of adversity. And this young lady has been one of the best at Oregon and at Texas. And I love that she gets the opportunity to play out that COVID year. But I really don't see Miranda Ellis being in full season form till probably the beginning of April. And that's not a bad thing at all, because I think you know what you're getting with Maxwell.
Epperson takes high. I could have asked Coach Gajewski this, but he wasn't going to show his cards. What I'm thinking now is, so Ellis has been up 4 or 5 times. So obviously, there's a chance she can get in this game. Mm-hmm. Is it, if they get in big trouble here, bring her in to squash that trouble, or do you wait until you get an actual lead on Corrick before you bring her in? What is his mentality, do you think, for having Ellis up and down here 4 or 5 times?
Well, right now we're at zeros because it's a tie game, right? So I think that if there is any sense of trouble at all, I bring Elish in because I want her to feel the intensity of that moment. Like those are the things that you need to feel and learn how to continue to get through, which she knows how, but she hasn't in a couple years, right? So I think if there's any sign of trouble, I go to her and let her feel that out for what it is. And she's never really been much of a closer. Obviously, she was a starter for Oregon and for Texas softball as well. So her role might change. Bring Mariana Rivera from the pen. Let's call her Miranda Elish.
3-2 pitch, and Epperson fouls another. That's going to twist back and out of play. I think the point where we were about to see Elish was in the South Florida second. Foreman had the leadoff hit, scored on a 2-out base hit by Maldonado, and then remember, Day hit Caleb with a pitch. So there were 2 on 2 outs. USF was up 1-0 at the time, and had she not retired Johns to end the inning, I think there's a chance if Johns had, given them a multi-run lead, we could have seen Elish then. But Day got out of it, but she's unable to finish off Epperson here, who long at bat and finishes it with a walk.
That's a heck of an at bat by Epperson. You see her giving the thumbs up.
Yep.
She's warm and ready.
Now batting, number 0.
So here's a
Desiree
similar spot to the
Maldonado.
one I was just describing, but there were 2 outs when they were 2 on after the run scored in the South Florida second. Now here they are first and second, 1 out. And here's Maldonado, who has an RBI single already today against Morgan Day. I'm getting the feeling that if Day allows a base hit or Maldonado reaches base with a hit or a walk, that we're going to see Miranda Elish next.
I
Next
thought
hitter.
she should have been in this
Right
hitter.
now.
So
Okay.
that's where my mind's at.
Good foul off the right field side. Elish coming back down towards the dugout. One ball, 1 strike count, 1-1 game in the bottom of the 4th. Good matchup between Oklahoma State and USF. That's towards short, into left field, heading for the plate. Here comes the throw. It's there, the tag, safe. I think the ball was in the bare hand, and Tuck tagged her with the glove without the ball. And she may have gotten under anyway. And USF has taken a 2-1 lead. Now we'll see if Kenny Gajewski is going to make a change in the circle. Let's take another look at this. It took a number of hops. Oh, okay, I guess she came out with the ball in the hand after. This is a better
Good
view.
angle.
Yeah, there we go. It came out after. I think she just missed her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looks like she didn't even touch her. And there's so much that those catchers are trying to work with nowadays with the obstruction call, not wanting to be in the way of the runner's lane, having a clear path, trying to pay attention to the ball.
So Maldonado has her 2nd RBI single of the game. So from what you said a minute ago and I said a minute ago, now we're both a little surprised that Elish is not in the game right now.
I am very surprised.
Cadleb hit by pitch in her first plate appearance. It's fun to play this chess match, though.
I mean, I'm sure that Coach Kenny Gajewski has confidence in his offense to. I mean, they have 9 more outs to work with to try to score off Corrick. They just scored last inning. But you just don't want anything to get too out of hand.
That ball kicks away, and now runners are at 2nd and 3rd. Epperson and Maldonado.
And I don't think that
Did
Tuck
she-
got her on her back.
Great look from our crew. Yeah, tag and maybe touch her hair.
But then it looks to me like it might have been her glove, and the ball wasn't in the glove.
Yeah, by that time the hand had come out with the ball. And then Epperson barely got the back edge with her bare hand of the plate. Ooh, this one squirts away too, but the runners hold.
Tuck's got to get it together back there. Especially now there's runners on second and third. Unless she's being crossed up by Day in the circle, those are balls that need to be caught.
Count in the hitter's favor of Cadlup, 3 balls and a strike. On the inside corner, says plate umpire James Colsey, and it's 3-2. Went right back in there, and that's near that same location today, but she lost her a walk. Now the bases are loaded.
Top of the lineup for the USF Bulls. Now batting number 42.
Day stays in to face the top of the order as they flip it for a third time here, and Alexis Johns. Johns reached on an error in the first inning, wound up being thrown out at the plate on a ground ball on the left side that she tried to score from third, and then in the second fly to left.
Defense is all in here, bases loaded situation. Naomi and Petty hugging that line. You see first and third in.
Big spot here for Oklahoma State, trying to keep this a 1-run game. Ball outside.
You can see Morgan Day's frustration. That is a pitch that she has been getting, so I can understand that.
Left field, Alexander back. It's over her head to the fence. It's going to clear the bases. The play's going to go to third, and the throw is just wide enough that Johns is able to get in with a head first slide. A 3-run triple for Alexis Johns has blown it open, and it's 5-1 USF.
Now batting.
This is just on the outside part of the plate. This is a great piece of hitting by the leadoff, especially in this type of situation. And in my opinion, I think the Day has just been left in there too long. I really do. I would have brought Ellish in, 4 batters ago, just to change it up. We've seen a lot of good swings from USF off of Day. We've seen some hot shots to the outfield. Maybe that the mentality is we're just letting Day ride this out. And Oklahoma State has to always respect the fact that they're going to get people's aces, right? Like, they've made that name for themselves as a program, and you're going to be facing the top pitcher all the time. But it's just being able to shore up those little things, right? Like being able to execute when you need to, pitching, being able to understand when we need to make that change. Maybe the mentality today was we're just going to let Morgan Day ride this out all the way through 4 and then Elish pitch 5, 6, 7. I don't know, but the change should have been made earlier.
This is Bailey Leistel, came in the game in left field. USF takes strike 3 on the outside corner. Well, if the plan was to try to keep it close before handing the ball to Elish, then that's kind of out the window now, because a 4-run deficit to Cork, I'm not going to say it's insurmountable, but it's pretty close to insurmountable. Your odds aren't 0, but they're pretty small.
There just seemed to be like a disconnect with the battery, right? Like we had the pass ball, a couple pass balls by the catcher, and just stuff just didn't seem right there for a little bit.
Rivera sends it in the air to right center field. That's into the breeze. So Busby able to go over and make the catch, but 8 batters come to the plate. 3-run triple from Johns, the big blow.
Just tell them we got only 3 balls and a home run.
Okay. Welcome back to the 2022 St. Pete Clearwater Invitational, presented by Wilson. Let's take a look at today's game track. Guess who brings you that? You said Wilson. That is the correct answer. Presented by Wilson. Your game track. The big blow we just saw a short time ago, the 3-run triple for Alexis Johns. And South Florida, after a 3-run bottom of the inning, taking a 4-run lead.
Michaela Richburg.
Yeah, 4-run bottom of the 4th. And Cork now with the 4-run lead to work with. Faces the bottom 3 in the order. Richburg, Tuck, and Petty. And Michaela 0 for 1 today with a ground out to 3rd. Check swing, ball low.
And at this point, if you're Oklahoma State, I mean, we just got to chip away here. We need 4 runs to tie it, 9 outs to work with. Can't win it in one swing, but you just need to find a way to get on, pass that bat, create some type of momentum. I don't feel like we've really got to see a ton of momentum with Oklahoma State.
It's not Elish any longer throwing. She's kind of protecting the pitcher that's warming up. That's Clopton. Tatum Clopton. When I say protecting, she's down there in case any foul balls whistle around. You got to make sure, keep them safe while they're back to the field, while they're warming up. So now, and I guess, at least I haven't been very good at this game, trying to gauge what's going to happen. Ball is hit towards third, foul. Now it looks like if you're Oklahoma State, you're holding on to Ellis until the game, if it were to get tighter, or a later game in this invitation.
Yeah. I mean, there's no point in continuing to keep going up and down, when the score is 5-1. See who they come back with in the bottom.
Richburg gets a ground ball to the left, a second, and that's gobbled up nicely by Alana Rivera, who fires to first to get Richburg. One gone.
Now batting number 4,
Taylor Tuck, the catcher, steps in. Strike one from Corrick. Stillwater native Taylor Tuck, out of Stillwater High School. A three-sport athlete while in high school. Softball, basketball, and track.
Yeah, where are my three-sport athletes at? We need more of that. I feel like a lot of the younger generation of athlete is just picking one at 9, 10, 11. I'm not for it. I think it's so good for these athletes to play multiple sports, because once you get to college, it is game on.
Well, I wholeheartedly agree, and the reason I even mention that, you've read through me, is I want to give maybe some kind of impression that I think playing multi-sports in high school is such a good idea, even if you want to focus on one sport once you get to college, obviously.
Well, I mean, I think you train your body in so many different ways that can also help prevent injury. Can ease the mind. It's fun to be able to go to basketball practice and work hard at that and still have your love for softball and that be what you want to do at the end of the day. And shame on any coaches that try to steer you otherwise.
Yeah. High flat is center field. Plenty of room for Cadlip. 2 outs. So when I mention all the sports they played in high school, that's my not so subtle way of trying to encourage others that are out there watching to, hey, don't get stuck playing one sport when you're in high school. You got all your college days until you stop playing to do that. Play basketball, play soccer, play volleyball, whatever it is, besides what you consider your primary sport.
Well, yeah, and if your coach for your primary sport is telling you can't play other sports, I think you need to reevaluate that person and why they're saying those things. And I'll even say this on air, and I don't have a problem with it. I think a lot of times they don't want you to play other sports because it's such a money grab. Like, I don't want you to play other sports that you're playing this, you're paying this amount, we're doing this. But it's like, where is the love for the child and allowing them to enjoy it? Like, they're still kids, they're not puppets in the sport. Like, you want your child to be able to perform and have fun with it and choose whatever it is they want to do. And at the end of the day, when they get to college, for that sport that they choose, it is hard. It is the most grueling 4 years of your life, right? So you want to know that, like, you chose the right one, but at the end of the day that you've enjoyed that whole process to get to that point. And it's not softball from the age of 8, and that's it. It's not how you do it.
And maybe, yes, softball is your primary sport, but because you played soccer, your footwork is really, really good. Or you played basketball, your cardio is excellent. You know, whatever. All those sports have different things that they can help you. 2-2 count. Thanks for jumping up on the soapbox with me.
No, I knew that you were trying to fuel my fire because you tend to do that in this soft-spoken way. You're very good at it.
I hadn't done it enough this week. That's back to Corrick, who has a 3-up, 3-down inning. Midpoint of the 5th, 5-1 USF. That's going to cap it all off here on Sunday evening on ESPN. UCLA and Florida State of the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. Tatum Clopton takes over in the circle. In fact, we got a whole new battery as Cottrell's going to move from DP to catcher. Clopton makes her third appearance.
State, number 16,
6 innings pitched
Tatum Clopton.
on the year. She's a freshman pitcher.
TP Vivian Pond.
Now batting is number 34, Vivian Pond.
And Clopton can amp it up a little bit. Has that fastball as well as that rise and change. Anywhere from 66 to 67 miles an hour at times. And there it is. Just takes something off it. You're starting to see a little trend with these pitchers in the way that Morgan Day kind of throws mechanically with her body, and you see Tatum Clopton kind of throws that exact same way. They have a style at Oklahoma State.
Gets Pond to reach. Clopton has come on. They face USF here in the bottom of the 5th with a 5-1 Bulls lead. Comes a 1-2 pitch from Tatum Clopton. Pond today has struck out looking and fly to center. Sends one to deep right center field. It is hit into the breeze. It might have held it up just enough. Busby was heading back to the fence and then curled back towards the field and runs it down. 1 out. Here's a look at what's ahead on our ESPN networks from here in Clearwater.
Number 28.
Today at 4 Eastern on ESPNU. Number 9 Texas, number 3 UCLA. Then our final day tomorrow, Washington, Clemson at 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPNU. And the Whopper, the big one to cap it all off. Florida State, UCLA, ESPN, 7 Eastern tomorrow night. Well, the USF lineup, all the runs that have scored have come from those that are 5 through 9 in the batting order. Yes, Alexis Johns, the leadoff hitter, knocked in 3. But hey, bottom of the order is doing its job for Coach Erickson's team.
You can appreciate that too as a pitcher, right? When the bottom half stepping up. Yeah, you expect that 1 through 4 for those players to be the get on, get her over, get her in type players. But when you can go 7, 8, 9, that can be pretty consistent for you. You can have a good offensive squad.
You just took me back to my youth because I can remember pitching and the bottom of our order never did anything. And I can remember thinking, well, I got to hold them at least this inning to keep it even because
Yeah.
we're not scoring the next inning.
There's been a lot of teams at times that have had that.
Not the case with the Bulls, especially today. They've been really productive down there, and Foreman a big reason for that, batting in the 5-hole. 2 for 2, single, double, 2-run score.
And just a really confident bunch. Even setting foot in this stadium yesterday, just this calmness, yet so confident in their abilities and just stepping up. Giant hacks, lots of energy.
First inning of work for Tatum Clopton. on for the starting pitcher, Morgan Day. Slow roller on a half swing. Clopton quickly out of the circle to field her position well. And they retire Foreman for the first time today.
Now batting,
Tatum
number
Clopton,
26,
true freshman
Megan
out of
Pierro.
Lawrence, Kansas. Went to Free State High School. Her mom was an outstanding pitcher at KU. Was first team All Big 12 back in the late 90s. Tatum elected to not go to Kansas, even though she was the Kansas Gatorade Player of the Year in high school 2019-2020, and said, I'm going to go to Oklahoma State. Sometimes you just got to leave your hometown.
Yeah, I did. But Canada didn't have many options to play college softball, so.
Just brought up a question. I mean, I assume there's college softball in Canada. There's schools.
Canadian, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Obviously, they're in Canada.
They're not playing all these teams down here in
Yeah.
these tournaments.
But how can they? They can't really keep the best Canadian players to play in Canada, can they? If Washington comes calling, or UCLA, or somebody.
Yeah, that's their own personal choice. But no,
Yeah.
if the opportunity is there for a lot of these young Canadian women to get the chance to play in the United States, I mean, why not, right? This is the highest level that you can play other than an Olympic team. And it's crazy because when I had committed to go to the University of Washington, being from Langley, British Columbia, about 2 hours away, like I didn't even know the stuff that went on in college softball, like the Women's College World Series and the opportunities that were there. And now a lot of these young Canadian kids do.
Is there a Canadian equivalent of Oklahoma City for the Canadian schools? Do they have that? Not really.
No,
No. Okay.
no.
I hadn't even really thought about that. I'm embarrassed to say so. It's very provincial on my part as an American.
Well, it's embarrassing for me as a Canadian to say I don't have an exact answer for you. So guilty as well.
Check swing foul. 2-2.
But I will say, Jen Sowling, who was a Canadian Olympic teammate of mine, who played at Oregon and then transferred to Washington when we won that championship, both her and I were kind of those first two Canadians that really like opened the door and the floodgates for those Pac-10 teams back in the day, now Pac-12, to see some Canadian players that could play.
So you're the one that all the Canadian college softball coaches look at and say, oh, it was that Danielle Laurie, and we can't keep any of our homegrown talent anymore in this country.
But you train so hard at this sport and you want to give these athletes the best opportunity to perform. So if you don't like me because of it, I'm okay with it.
I'm just giving you trouble. That's a pitch. It's high ball 4.
I love just giving you just a little chuckle always, you know, just getting a good laugh out of my Canadian roots.
It's been a while since I've been to Canada. Hopefully we can get this pandemic completely gone and we don't have to worry about those restrictions.
I haven't been home in almost 2.5 years, so I'm right there with you.
Madison Epperson had a key walk in that 4-run fourth. Later would score on the Alexis Johns 3-run triple. 5-1 South Florida. And the last of the 5th from Clearwater. Clopton misses inside as Cottrell is keeping a close eye on Piero at first and almost threw one down there. Inside to Epperson once again. And Cottrell gives a look. Oklahoma State takes on Washington. Their next game here in Clearwater. It is later tonight. USF, after this, doesn't play till tomorrow. They play Auburn and Wisconsin tomorrow. Rudder goes. Cottrell throws a one-hop that skips into center field. Past Naomi and Petty, and Factor plays it in, but not before Piero has a steal and goes to third as well on the throwing end.
Piero just a ton of speed. And the ball just kind of beat the defender. Naomi wasn't able to get over there, and obviously Petty at second wasn't cutting it off, so it was just able to get behind, and good base running by Piero to get to third.
That's served out to center field and a base hit. Will score Piero Epperson, second RBI of the year. And USF now has a 5-run lead.
Just kind of jams her up a little bit. And the angle at which Petty wanted to go at, she couldn't because that umpire was standing right in the way.
Number 0, Desiree
But those are just the little defensive things, right? Like, I'm sure there's a chance that run still scores if Piero's at second, but it's that miss in the outfield of Cottrell throwing it down to second where the runner gets to advance to make that a sure run at home.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, that's an error charge to Cottrell on the throw, but really Julia did all she could. I mean, she just threw it right over second base. It bounced, just hoping that one of the middle infielders, whoever was covered, was going to get there, and they didn't in time. But it cost a base. You got to give the error to somebody, and then it goes to Cottrell. Maldonado has been a thorn in the side of Oklahoma State today, and remains so in the left field. Should score to hit. We'll see. If it is, it'll be her third hit of the game. She's also knocked in a couple. That is a base hit.
Now batting, number
3 base hits from Maldonado. I'm a little shocked up here, Mark. I just wasn't predicting this type of a game.
Well, especially through the first 3+ innings.
Yeah. A lot of goose eggs up on the board, and then all of a sudden it's wheels kind of fell off a little bit. And to be honest, like when it comes to pitching, and if I've seen anything over the course of the last couple of years playing at the national level with Team Canada and seeing Team USA and all these other teams, like when stuff starts to go wrong, you have to be able to pull the trigger on that pitcher. Like leaving them in one pitch too long can really be hardcore, and in this case today, I think that's really what we've seen. We just saw Day stay out there a little bit longer than she should have. Yes, it's the beginning of the season, and we're learning and figuring out how the battery is going to work. Are we going by committee or are we not? But you don't want to get burned by your bullpen. You want to be able to make those changes and not leave someone in too long. And I think that's what's happened today for Oklahoma State.
First pitch misses Jordan Cadlub. By the way, Julia Morocco is pinch running for USF. Cadlub's been hit by a pitch, has walked and also scored. Sun is out, light breeze. You see the breeze is a little heavier than light, but it's a gorgeous Saturday in Clearwater. Great look at a beautiful Saturday here at the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. This game was scoreless into the bottom of the second. And USF got a run on a Maldonado base hitter, first of 3 today. And Oklahoma State tied it up on a Cheyenne Factor home run with 2 outs in the 4th off Corrick, and we thought, you know, we're going to have ourselves a 2-1, 3-2 type game final at the end, but 4-run 4th for USF, and they've added on here in the 5th, and that ball's into center from Cadlub, and Epperson scooting to the plate. She scores. Ball kicks past Maldonado to third, and Cadlub down to second. First RBI of the year for Jordan Cadlub. Clopton got the first 2, but the inning continued on a Piero walk and 3 straight singles since then.
Well, and this is, I mean, we're talking heart of the plate here. Clopton's lucky she didn't get hit, and that little cutoff. I mean, we got to either cut the ball off or not, right? Like that little bobble from first base, Richburg, like you have to be able to cut that ball off the tip of the glove. Then Cottrell's getting all crossed up at home. And I mean, we're 2 runs away here from a walk-off win and a run rule for USF. I mean, Oklahoma State, step it up here, play some defense.
I didn't envision this situation occurring in this game, especially here in the 5th. As you said, a lead of 8 or more after 5 ends the game, and it's 6-1. Or 7-1, pardon me. So you have runs 8 and 9 potentially in scoring position, that if those 2 runs score right here, this game's over.
And I'm going to go and be the little birdie on the other side of the fence and sit there with Kenny Gajewski. I know that he loves his team just going through the trenches, right? Like, you know that, like, facing this type of adversity, just being exposed is not anything that he's intimidated by it. And that's a good thing, because you want to go through these types of things to figure it out as a team. So that's why you don't see him rushing to go take her out right now. Yes, it's stressful, but I mean, you gotta figure it out. And
3-0 count. That's ball 4 to load the bases. You know, in a similar vein, when we had Kenny Gajewski on our Zoom call getting ready for this invitational, he mentioned a story about Clopton, that Oklahoma State team was down near Oklahoma City and were basically playing on a high school field, scrimmaging, and Kenny said that Clopton really got knocked around pretty good, to the point that she was a little flustered. He said he went out to her and said, "Hey, you know, get used to this. Don't let it throw you down. Don't let it throw you back. You're going to come back harder and better and stronger the next time. But you know, this is going to happen."
And guess what? Welcome to the,
here
to
it
the
is.
big league, sweetheart. This is, you're a freshman. This is what it's all about, and this is what happens. I'm looking at a little Georgina Corrick stepping up here with bases loaded, 2 outs. Little pinch hit for Sheehan.
John Bargfeld, who handles the pitching for Coach Gajewski, out to talk to his true freshman, Tatum Clopton. So with a 7-1 lead, you give Corrick an opportunity to bat for the first time today and put her in a position where, if she does get a base hit, she most likely ends the game and gives herself a win in the circle at the same time. You don't get that opportunity a whole lot.
No, not nowadays. We've seen actually more hitting pitchers in our games than I have in a really long time, and I'm all about it. Peyton Tidd winning it for Notre Dame last game. We got to call just little things, but Georgina Corrick, here we go.
First at bat of the season for Corrick. Coach Erickson getting his ace in the circle, an opportunity to swing the bat. The possibility of ending the game.
I mean, Clopton not even close. I think think the moment's big, and freshmen needs to just take a breath, slow it down, and not be any bigger because of it. And sometimes when your heart's pumping and you feel it, you try to pitch differently.
There's a strike, 2-1.
And Georgina Corrick's like, where's that pitch been for me? I haven't been getting that one.
A little behind it, chops it foul. And it's a 2-2 count. 5 batters in a row have reached with 2 outs. Clopton set down Pond and Foreman to begin the inning. First at bat of the season for Cork with the bases loaded, 2 outs. 2-2 pitch. Gets jammed, it's pulled foul.
Kind of based on those swings on the inside part of the plate, at times a little susceptible to being able to get jammed. I don't really want to allow her to get her arms too extended through the zone. So if I'm going away, I'm going to try to keep that ball down in the zone.
Whacked foul past third. Six unanswered runs here for USF since Oklahoma State tied it at 1 in the top of the 4th. Cheyenne Factor's home run.
You can see Clopton trying to go back inside with something.
Indeed, she did. Up and in.
A little swagger out there.
Another 2-2 pitch from Tatum Clopton.
Good.
She went around. At least that's what the plate umpire James Colsey said. And Corrick strikes out. USF tacks on 2. We have finished 5. 6-run lead. Did she go around? Let's take a look.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
From the sugary white sands of Clearwater Beach, voted the #1 beach in the U.S. by TripAdvisor. To glittering nightlife and world-class restaurants, St. Pete Clearwater offers so much to do. Start planning now at visitstpeteclearwater.com. If you need a snack break, concessions are available in the front entrance and behind Field 8. And fans don't forget to stop by our merchandise areas at the front of the complex to purchase some of your own official gear. And make sure you get your official game program at the Team ID merchandise trailer. And be sure to check out our vendor village. You'll have to head over to fields 1 and 3 to see all it has to offer. And fans, if you want to enjoy a VIP hospitality experience, including all you can eat and drink, head over to Field 4 to learn more about upgrading your ticket today. We hope everyone's enjoying the open-air experience of the Jolly Trolley. This complimentary service is offered throughout the entire weekend. Service begins 1.5 hours prior to the first game through 30 minutes following the last out of the day. The Jolly Trolley is a local favorite with service between our local beaches.
USF leading Oklahoma State 7-1. Regina Corrick
I mean, she's the leader, right? Like, if this team's going anywhere, she's leading that ship. And just her positivity, the way she's connecting with her teammates. I mean, 5 innings pitched. She's given up those 3 hits, the 1 earned run. And she struck out herself, but I don't think it was a strikeout. I don't think she went through that. But, I mean, she is the GOAT for USF.
Top of the lineup for Oklahoma State. Now batting, number 5, Kylie.
There's the top of the order for the Cowgirls. Kylie Naomi. Kylie today is fly to right, also fouled out to third. Strike to the Louisiana native Naomi, who was first team All Big 12 last year. With the numbers of 341, 14 homers, 37 RBIs, and oh yeah, added 15 stolen bases. Liner, that went off the glove in a highly unusual play. Epperson off her mitt in the air, went towards Piero, who almost caught it in the air, which had she, it would have been a rare line drive 3-4 catch. But she took it off the ground and then got it to Epperson.
Number 55, Chelsea
A lot went on there in about
Alexander.
a second and a half.
Yeah, and this is just a rip from Naomi. So close. Piero stays with it and gets it just in time. Naomi, a lot of speed up the line.
So that's actually a play where the first baseman, Epperson, gets an assist and a putout because it went 3-4-3. Chelsea Alexander. Bunt base hit in the first and a strikeout the last time up in the fourth. On the inside corner, strike call. Corey fields her position and throws out Alexander. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule, brought to you by Wilson. Later today, Texas UCLA, ESPNU at 4 Eastern. That's coming up in about 23 minutes. Also tomorrow, Tech, LSU, Washington, Clemson, UCLA, Florida State. All of the ESPN networks. UCLA, Florida State to wrap things up here in Clearwater on ESPN.
That Texas UCLA game should be interesting. A couple uncharacteristic losses yesterday for Texas, struggling in this tournament.
Factor hit the solo homer in her last at bat in the fourth. That at that point we thought was a huge turning point because it tied the game at 1. But since then, South Florida has scored 6 unanswered runs.
Georgina Korick just kind of asking the catcher to get a little bit of that dirt off the plate.
Back to the screen. We look at the career numbers for Georgina Korick. This is her 5th season because of the COVID year with USF. Her highest ERA in a season was her true freshman year, and that was 1.68. Popped up on the shallow right near the line. And the second baseman, Piero, and Johns were in the same area, and Piero made the nice catch. So they go down in order in the 6th. It stays 7-1 USF. Welcome back to the 2022 St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational presented by Wilson. Sunny, a little bit breezy day here in Florida, temperature in the 70s. So we head to the home half of the 6th, 7-1 USF. And now we see Miranda Elish take over in the circle for the Cowgirls, her 5th appearance.
Just getting her an inning or two under her belt. She's 13 2/3 innings pitched. A little bit of a higher ERA, but really the first couple weekends out, like, can't be looking at that. Let's go look at having quality pitches thrown.
Alana Rivera.
Elish needs different, what do we call the cards that have the secrets of the signs on? So just
I've never used them. That is a question I need to ask.
nor will you probably ever use them, because they are antithetical to everything you stand for as a pitcher.
Yeah, the times have changed. But
So
for those that don't know a Miranda Elish, I mean, she's going to throw that ball in the upper 60s, has that good fastball, can keep the ball down in the zone with her drop, has a pretty good rise. That one popping in at 71 miles an hour. I mean, she can bring it.
3, 4, and 5 hitters for USF in the 6th, with the Bulls up 6 runs. Miranda Elish, Indiana native. Played her first 2 years at Oregon. Went 12-0 her first year, 25-2 her sophomore year. Followed Mike White to Texas. It's 2 years there, and then sat out last year, and then elected to transfer to a 3rd school, Oklahoma State, this year. Scoot over towards field 8. Rivera 0 for 3 with a ground out, fly ball out, and she's reached on a fielder's choice.
That little off speed. That 1-2 count coming in at 58 miles an hour. What makes Miranda Elish is just the competitor. I mean, when the going gets tough, she fully steps up, and that's the pitcher and player that she always has been.
The years blend together, but obviously it was 2017, 2018. You and I did a number of regionals, supers. I can't remember the entire combination. In Eugene, and saw her first couple of years. And, you know, a lot of people thought she was the best recruit in the nation when she came out of high school from Indiana. Ground ball to the right is second base. Petty over to get that. Record the first down on the throw to first. 7 Innings Podcast is our weekly softball podcast. It chronicles the road to the Women's College World Series. You can get the views of our great ESPN personalities that cover the great sport of softball. 7 Innings. You can find it now on the ESPN app, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcast. The other things that stick out when we had those postseason games in Eugene, Oregon, usually the season ended in despair for Oregon. That they would find a way, even though they were a sometimes heavy favorite on their home field, to not make it to Oklahoma City.
Yes, that was definitely the trend.
Remember when they lost, you and I were doing a super regional there, and UCLA came back after losing the first game and 1-2 to go to Oklahoma City. Ellis knocks it down, make an overhand throw to first. It's Vivian Pond.
Now batting, number 28, Josie Foreman.
Josie Foreman, the catcher's had a nice day for USF. Hits her first 2 times up, a double, single, 2-run score. And has had a 2 for 3 day.
Oklahoma State's going to get one more crack at it.
As this season goes on and Miranda Elish gets more appearances under her belt, you can still see where the player that, let's face it, was one of the superstars in this sport. You can see that eventually that star is going to be shining brightly at some point this year in Stillwater.
Well, and especially her being a fifth-year senior and taking 2 years off, a lot of life experience in between that.
Picked up in foul territory.
There's something different when you take a little bit of a break from the game and you get the opportunity to come back, that you just appreciate it more, you respect it more, and you want it that much more as well because you missed it. And she wouldn't be here if she didn't miss it, right? Like, she chose to play one more year because she obviously saw something special in Oklahoma State and felt like she could help this team compete to try to fight for a national championship.
Hot shot to third. Pennington unable to come up with it. Foreman's on base for a 3rd time today. That is an error.
Yeah, that's definitely a play that Pennington normally makes.
So Foreman is aboard with 2 outs.
Now batting number 26, Megan Piero.
6-hole hitter Megan Piero is up. Chop towards the hole and into left field. You know, just the simplicity of that swing right there shows that you don't have to swing out of your shoes. You just have to have an idea, and if you see a pitch in a location that you can take, in this instance the other way, just roll it through the 5-6 hole.
I mean, it's that simple. Mark Neely's just has it dialed down how to be a successful hitter.
Last thing you need to do is listen to me and listen to Danielle.
I know you're a baseball guy. I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
Now batting number 9.
No, but there is some beauty in the simplicity of it sometimes.
I mean, you can't go in trying to make it more complicated than it is when you're facing an elite pitcher, right? Because it's just not going to happen. You can't overthink it. You have to pick a side of the plate that you're honing in on, especially with the velocity that Miranda Ellis brings, right? Like, last pitch coming in at 68 miles an hour. You just have to be on time with it. You do not need this big old swing to take her yard. You just need to be on time, and that thing's going to get out of here real quick. Just short and sweet to the ball. But USF is definitely that team that plays a little bit more Pepper-like, right? Like just kind of putting bat on ball, making something happen. And they're scrappy.
Yes. But you know what, the great pitchers, like yourself, from a hitter's standpoint, a hitter has to come in when they're facing a superstar. Like, there's going to be at least one pitch that superstar throws it. If they throw it in a certain spot, you're like, I ain't hitting that.
Yeah. So
if they can put it there 3 times, I'm going to tip my cap and go. But I got to look elsewhere what I can put in play, and that's put in play to third. And Pennington throws her out to end the inning. Last chance for the Cowgirls as Ellis gets an inning under her belt. It's 7-1 Bulls.
St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational, presented by Wilson, is brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater, Florida, and Wilson Fast Pitch, leaders in softball innovation.
Like 2 shifts passing in the night, except this one's during the daytime. The gorgeous part of Florida. This game heads to the Oklahoma State 7th inning. Last chance for the Cowgirls. They're down 6 facing Corrick. That's a heavy task. Julia Cottrell will try to get it started for Oklahoma State. Cottrell today
Leading off for Oklahoma State.
found out in a walk.
Number
So her 3rd plate appearance.
Julia Cottrell.
It's the first pitch on a line to shortstop, and Alana Rivera. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Now batting number 17, Haley Busby.
So Corrick right around the 100 pitch mark. And looking like a pretty good bet to go to 4-0 with the win here today.
What a performance by her. As of right now, the solo shot by Cheyenne Factor. Only run given up by earned run by Corrick this season. A couple unearned runs last season.
Race to the bag, and it comes out of the glove of Epperson. Yeah, Busby coming down the line. Piero at second was coming over to cover. Epperson fielded the ball, was going to take it herself, and then the ball came out. Busby is on. There's a conglomerate about to meet there at first base.
This is definitely jammed up and kind of right in the Bermuda Triangle there. Piero was really far back, so Epperson had to go out to go get it.
Was he trying to make an exchange to get that the very last second? Piero, it's kind of tough to tell.
Yeah, it looked like she was just kind of felt like she was going to be late, so tried to flip it over to Piero, but
and a visit by head coach Ken Erickson. USF as a program started playing softball in 1985. They made the NCAA tournament for the first time in the mid-90s. They've gone 16 times. 15 of those 16 NCAA tournament trips have come with Ken Erickson as their head coach. Right away, an error assessed on that last play. Sydney Pennington. First pitch of the game, off-speed swing and a miss. Two from Corrick.
Just been so impressed with Georgina Corrick just throughout this whole game. She's just so much fun to watch. She's definitely that leader for this team. Brings a ton of energy. Quality spots, throws hard.
Towards the middle, takes a weird hop at the end. It did come up on Piero. They might charge her with an error, but watching that in real time, it was ground ball hugging the ground, and at the last moment it popped up. They were going to charge her with an error.
Now batting is number 32.
Back-to-back errors
Richburg.
for USF as they try to close out this game leading by 6. There's Michaela Richburg, who takes a hack and comes up empty.
And just even taking a look at where Michaela Richburg is standing when she steps in the batter's box, the last pitch at least, I mean, she is heels touching the back line, way at the back, which to me, if I'm Corrick, really opens up that outside part of the plate a little bit. If you're going in, you got to go way in. Love this angle. See how she's kind of way up. Left foot touching the chalk on the back. It's a great angle, you guys.
We're breaking out all the toys.
And you know, that's the pitch right there. You got a hammer, right? Like that's a curveball, missed a little bit plate, but it's almost like Richburg is baiting her and wanting her to throw it in. But if she's not going to, you have to have a plan of action if she's going to go away.
Goes back out, pulls it to third. Maldonado to second for one, to first, not in time to extend the game. So runners are at the corners with 2 outs. And Oklahoma State down to their final out. Ellis going to get a chance to bat here. So her day is not yet finished. At least her game is not yet finished. South Florida would be 5-1. Oklahoma State fall to 5-3 with a loss. Again, Oklahoma State plays Washington later tonight. That's rope foul. USF gets the rest of the day off after this. They'll play twice tomorrow, first against Auburn, then against Wisconsin. Check swing foul outside third.
I could see Georgina Korek just slipping that drop ball underneath Miranda Ellis's hands. We've seen her do that to a couple lefty hitters. Just that downward spin, whether it's that changeup she drops off the table or her drop ball.
Two pitch. And play out to second base, gathered by Piero, and that ends the game. Korek allows her first earned run of the season. USF wins 7-1, and Korek improves to 4-0. And Korek was Korek today again.
She really was, yeah. She's been consistent. Those starts that we've seen, so good from the beginning until the end. Yeah, giving up the 1 home run, but at this point it's 7-1. It didn't even matter. And the USF offense, they're just scrappy. They keep going and going and going, and they're relentless. And that's what you need. And on the flip side, Oklahoma State just didn't look like themselves. Looked like they weren't able to really settle in and feel good on both sides of the ball.
So USF out hit them 9-3, and there were 5 errors in this game. And USF wins it over Oklahoma State 7-1. Reminder that all games from the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational presented by Wilson are streaming on the ESPN app. For our entire outstanding crew and Daniel Laurie, I'm Mark Neely, and we say good afternoon from Clearwater.